welcome in. It is the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast, back after, well, somewhat of a week off. Thanks again to Hayden from last week for joining me on a Saturday show. Able to, one of the biggest weekends in college football to date. You know, we had to get an episode out. Wish it would have been with these two dickweeds, but sometimes things come up and wasn't able to. But nonetheless, here we are back. There's been a lot that has happened since the last time we were all together to record a show. The Twins have decided to sell, or the Pohlads have decided to sell the team, and Karl Anthony Towns is no longer a Wolf. And the baseball playoffs are underway right now as we record this. The Dodgers lead the Mets 2-0 here in the top of the third as Max Muncy is up, and he just hits a liner. Bounces right in front of the right fielder. Ohtani over to third, and the bases are loaded with one out for the Dodgers. Nonetheless, here, college football keeps running along. The NCAA caves and gets down on their knees for Ohio State to change the rules, and they're still not going to win a national title. The Vikings and Lions battle for NFC North supremacy, and NDSU has a chance to bring the Rock back home for the first time since 2019, pre-COVID here. So, and the exciting thing is I will be there for that game, a night game on ESPN2. So, very excited for that here. But, guys, what's new? How are things?
We got Hank.
Ethan got a cat. There it is.
And yeah, there it is. This is Hank the Tank. Very happy guy. Hank, can you say hi?
Hank the Tank. Hank the Tank.
Hank the Tank.
They're going streaking through the quad.
He's a big guy.
He looks like just a lovey-dovey guy. All up in your stuff there, Ethan.
He's a big cuddler to do with his wife. Until you basically go to bed, and then he gets turned into some psychopath for about 5 minutes until we grab him and we're like, shut up and go to bed.
So he's just a normal cat.
No, I wouldn't. No, none of the other cats really here outside of Gizmo like to cuddle.
Oh, interesting.
Gizmo's the 17-year-old. She's an old gal.
I figured all of them did. I just figured that was the way of life.
Not really. No. He is a different type of cat, that's for sure.
Well, what do I know?
Obviously nothing.
You don't know much, to be honest.
No.
But I mean, you're well open. You admit that pretty frequently that you do not know much, which it's very good of you to admit what you don't know. There's too many people that think they're the smartest people in the room and they know everything. As one of my good buddies said, there are certain people that it doesn't matter if it's fishing or masturbating, they're better at it than you. Don't be that guy.
And I'm not going to be that guy.
I'm not going to be.
Because I'll tell you what, I'm probably average at both of those things, or below average.
Well, what does your sock drawer say, Grant?
Oh, well, we're not going there. It's bad.
or a better question is what does the peanut butter jar say?
Or what does the fox say?
Woof.
Woof. Woof, he says. But, all right, nonetheless here, fellas. So, we've got Week 7 college football recap, NFL team of the week and disappointing team and feeble team, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to preview the week ahead here.
I like the feeble team, Dylan.
Feeble team of the week?
Feeble team of the week. We used to say we're the mirror of positivity, but there's just a lot of bad football out there where you're not disappointing. You're just straight up feeble. Especially
for a certain podcaster whose favorite team is on the show here. That feeble might be like complimenting them, but what do you guys want to start with? College, NFL? What say you guys?
Let's do some college. Why not?
Do some college. All righty, here and I don't know where, Ethan, your Vikings helmet went. It's somewhere.
Well, I see where I stand.
Oh, no, right here. Found it. There it is.
At the top of the mountain?
Probably. Wherever it
It was
belongs.
underneath my foot, actually.
Ooh.
So the first pick
Bigfoot.
here for the Week 7 recap is going to be Grant.
Oh boy.
Second pick
Bang, bang.
going to be Ethan, and then I am the caboose, which is
Fits.
kind of where I am in fantasy football. Actually, I'm not in fantasy football this year. I got a win over the top guy in the league this week in the punishment league, and
Nice.
thank God for James Cook being a late scratch.
Oh, you guys want to hear something ridiculous? Speaking of fantasy, Dylan, in our league we're in, okay, so I'm on a nice little win streak, 4 in a row. I'm 4-2 on the year. But this is stupid. In terms of like points scored this year, I'm 9th. But points scored against me, I'm 10th. Like literally everybody has a bad game when they're quote bad game when they play me. It's
You're the
absolutely
complete
insane.
opposite of me. I am second in points for and second in points against.
Yes.
We are literally the polar opposite.
And I even got a win this weekend, and I forgot to check my lineup Sunday morning, and Jonathan Taylor was out. And Tank Bigsby got me 2.54 points. I shouldn't have won.
You shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have
No,
won.
did you see the one guy that had he lost 132 to 4.8? Had the worst
1.2.
Or yeah, 1.2. That's what it was.
Yep.
Jeez.
I mean, his team sucked anyway, but yeah, man, wow, he had some shit luck that day.
Yeah, huh. But Grant, who do you have for your Week 7 college football team of the week?
You know, a lot of good options here, but I'm gonna go with a team who I feel played an elimination game. This past Saturday night, they're down at home in Death Valley, and I'm gonna go with the LSU Tigers.
Ooh, good pick.
I say that because they're coming off the Week 1 loss to Southern Cal, and throughout the rest of this year, I don't know who this LSU team is. And they're playing an Ole Miss team who lost at home to Kentucky. And both of these teams, like I said, this is elimination game October 12th. If you lose, you're done. You're probably out of the playoff because your schedule coming up for LSU is still crazy. And people are going to be saying, does Brian Kelly know what he's doing? Or is he overpaid and is he overmatched in the SEC and he needs to go back to Notre Dame or a school like Michigan Grand Valley State. He's not ready for the big leagues. And when you have to make up a Southern accent to say that you and your family are so happy to be with you, you probably don't belong in the big leagues. And and I'm not going to lie, this LSU defense going up against this Ole Miss offense, I was not too confident in LSU coming into this thing. I thought Lane Kiffin and Jackson Dart and company were going to light these guys up like the 4th of July. And like I said, it was going to be open season. But, they hunkered down, they powered through, and they got a nice win in overtime. And, the LSU survives another week, and they're still in this college football playoff thing. And if they get a couple more wins going here, and they can build this confidence, and you know what, maybe Brian Kelly is preaching the right things, this team can make the playoff still.
Well, and it never felt like during that game at all that LSU had any stranglehold or any control of that game until it got into overtime, because it felt like Ole Miss moved the ball pretty well, and then they had that incredible interception on the pass that Dart threw in the end zone that when you saw it, it looked like it was just going to be an incomplete pass, and then that guy came out of nowhere and intercepted. It was like, holy crap. And then that final drive by Nussmeier, who has been a question mark. I think there were a lot of people that were high on him, but I think they got a bad taste in their mouth after the USC game. And he delivered a huge drive to find a way to tie that game and get it into overtime. And then in overtime, the pass rush for LSU just took over.
And in years past, Dylan, this is a game that LSU finds a way to lose.
Yes.
Or, when Brian Kelly is taking over, it's, 50-50. They're going to win some of these games. They're going to lose some of these games. But they found a way to like what he said they couldn't do in week 1 against USC. They found a way to finish a team and bury a team when they had to. And, they needed it going forward. So that's why LSU's my team of the week.
Okay. Ethan, who do you got for your team of the week?
I'm going I'm going with a top 10 team this week from the state of Iowa State.
That was on my short list too.
Yeah, go down to West Virginia, never an easy place to play, and they win. Honestly, this was such an emotional game for the quarterback, Rocco Beck. I don't know if you guys saw this, but his dad was actually inducted into the West Virginia Hall of Fame.
Yes, I did see that.
So you're going to your dad's alma mater. He's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and you got to go out there and play. 18-26, a cool 265 and a touchdown. That's freaking impressive. To be able to go in there and do that and get the win, and they're 6-0 now. They win next couple of games. They could be a top 5 team here, quick.
Because we got 2 more weeks before the official rankings come out. Because it's usually the first weekend in November.
I think so. Yeah, it sounds
Is that right?
I think so.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah, they could be hosting they could be hosting for sure one playoff game.
And a bye.
Well, yeah, if they get a bye, then they wouldn't be hosting. It would be at whatever the bowl site is, but they'd get a bye.
That's right. It's only
I thought they didn't they get one home game? And
I thought they did too. I thought the first round was home in the second round. Then it went to the semifinals. Then went to
semifinals are
that was how I took it.
No, because I've played this on NCAA and I've gotten a bye every time, and you go to a bowl game because it gets knocked down to because there's 12.
It'd be 8.
So then it goes to 8, yeah. And then they play 4 of the bowl games, and then the other 2, and then wherever the national title is.
That's stupid.
Yeah, what the hell? You get the better seed, but you don't get the host?
Yeah.
You don't.
That's dumb. That's dumb. You're a top 4 conference champion. You should be able to get a home game.
Yeah, for sure.
People should have to go to Ames, Iowa, and play in January.
Yeah. Go to Jack Trice. That'd be freaking awesome.
Could you imagine Jack Trice?
It was in Lambeau South. That place would be crazy.
And I'm guessing, and my guess would be when it goes to 16, that's probably what'll happen. I think because it's in that weird 12-team playoff right now, I don't think they're quite able to do it. But
all those people sitting on the hill at Jack Trice.
Could you imagine, guys, a team like LSU going to Ames January 3rd or January 4th?
Where 90% of the roster is from the South.
From the South.
First time they've ever seen snow in their life.
Oh, how
cool. Below 30 degrees.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Remember the Farmageddon game last year, guys, where it was a snow globe?
Yes.
Could something like that. That would be just absolute cinema.
Yeah. Iowa State, Kansas State last year was like that.
Iowa State, Kansas State, Dylan pretty much never played in a snow globe.
Somehow took one 85 yards down the sideline, and I was just like, how the hell did he stand up that whole time?
I can't walk 85 inches in the snow without falling. Yeah, he went 85 yards.
He's cutting. I'm just like, I need your type of shoes just to walk to work every day.
Jeepers, gravity.
Goodness.
But Iowa State keeps on rolling. My team of the week, and I appreciate you guys getting it set up like this, but it has to be the Oregon Ducks. It wasn't pretty. They had some sloppy special teams. A questionable call that didn't go their way that first drive. There were a lot of question marks. On our show on Saturday, I said I thought Ohio State, I thought they were the real deal. I thought they were going to go into Otts and they weren't going to be intimidated. It was going to be a bit of a Chip Kelly revenge game, but he left on good terms. But I thought that there was going to be enough talent there that they were going to be able to run the ball effectively enough where they were going to take the crowd out of it. And I thought they were going to win. Oregon was going to keep it close, and I thought a late drive by Ohio State was going to put it up to 10, and that was going to be enough for Ohio State to win. And on the other side of it, I didn't think I trusted Oregon enough. Dylan Gabriel hadn't been playing great up to this point. The offensive line has not been very good, and the defense gave up a lot of yards to Ashton Genty, who right now is probably the Heisman front runner. I think he has to be at this point.
Give me Hunter.
Well, the problem with Travis Hunter is they play him way too many snaps where he's going to miss too much time and he's going to play himself out or not play.
That's a bunch of BS. He missed one half already. That's it.
That's the start. He missed 2 games last year, 2 or 3 games last year.
Because he got lacerated his spleen or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he took that cheap shot on the sideline.
Yeah,
but when you're playing 100 some plays a game, that's going to wear on the body. But the offensive line, they answered the bell. They were moving people all night. And Ohio State, the same problems, the same question marks that you had going into the year. When you needed Will Howard, what was he going to do? He was going to slide and not be aware of the clock, and had a turn. Well, the turnover wasn't his fault, but the defense, they gave up. They resorted back to the 22 defense where they gave up big play after big play. Oregon's offense averaged 8 yards a play, and you've been hearing about how great this Ohio State. You've been hearing about Jack Sawyer and JT Tuilomalau, how great they are, but they have not shown up in big games. They've disappeared, and I don't think they've really improved from the sophomore years that they've had. They've been good, but they haven't taken that next step that you've seen so many great Ohio State defensive ends do. When you look at Bosa's, Chase Young, Sam Hubbard, all those guys, they've all taken that next step to get to the next level. But those two, for whatever reason, and it's the same D-line coach, I don't know if there's not a message getting through, but there's just something there that they just disappear in these big spots. Same thing with Denzel Burke. Got absolutely torched by the Oregon receivers. But I don't think Ohio State is going anywhere. I think they got it. Still have to figure those questions out. But Oregon for sure is my team of the week. So,
bless you.
Moving on to the week NFL Week 7 here, team of the week. I didn't get to see a lot of this game. I got to see about the second half. I'm gonna go with go over to London and go with the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams might be the guy. I know it was against the Jaguars. I know they are not very good, but he has improved each week. They are 4-2. The offense is clicking. The offensive line has been far more consistent than when it was the first couple of weeks in the year. And 4-2, guys in Chicago are starting to believe. He's playing with a ton of confidence. I think the Bears team might be something to you're not going to be able to sleep on them for much longer.
I want to see them versus a team like their last 3 wins. They've been pretty solid, just in terms of how they've won. But I want to see them do it versus a good team now. Jacksonville, joke. I can't remember the other 2 teams they beat. I know they don't have good records, but I want to see Caleb Williams do it against maybe say a Vikings defense that's going to give him these different looks where he's not going to know what the hell's going on.
It was Tennessee. They beat Indianapolis.
Yeah, the Colts are
Carolina.
bad.
No, they lost to the Colts. They lost to the Colts.
That's right. They lost to the Colts.
They beat the Panthers.
He looked like shit versus the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's I want to see him versus – no, it's I want to say it's 6 of their final 8 games or 7 games are versus the NFC North. Obviously that's going to dictate how their season goes, but also just how his season goes is really going to be dictated by those games too, because all 3 of those teams probably have the best defenses he'll face all year. I guess they play the 49ers at the end, so if they can get healthy, that'll be another good one. But basically their last 8 games, I think, are Seahawks, 49ers, Vikings, and rest of the NFC North. So, you're really going to find out who they are here in about a month. I think week 11 is when they first start this gauntlet.
Yeah, well, and the reason why I put them in there is because it's not that they've just won; it's they've dominated the teams that
and,
they have played, which is a good sign.
Here's the thing: this Bears defense is for real.
The defense is solid. Yeah,
the defense can play. It's just, can Caleb digest when he sees a crazy scheme and they're going 18 miles an hour, and what he sees pre-snap is not what he's going to get at the snap, and he has to know that adjustment is coming in a half a second.
Yep.
When do they play the Vikings first?
Is it the Monday night? Is it the Monday night game?
Monday night's the second time. They play them in Chicago.
Okay.
I think it's 3 weeks from now because we go, or is it 4 weeks? I think it's week 11 we play them because we go Rams after this on Thursday, then we go Colts, and then there's someone else before the Bears. Jaguars.
Okay.
I think that's how it goes. But they're good, but yeah, I want to see them do it versus a better defense now.
A real team. And also, guys, let's talking shit about the Jags here. I was ready to give Buffalo the Super Bowl, and then that was after they played Jacksonville, and they've been 1-2 ever since then, and they look like a team who might not even win a wild card game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well Cooper changes that offense now.
That's just how bad the Jacksonville Jaguars are.
We'll get into them here after we do the rest of our team of the week here. Ethan, who do you got for your team of the week?
I think there's really only one choice. I had the Bears on my short list. It was 2 teams, but the Lions just absolutely eviscerated your Cowboys. That was over before kick even started, and by the second quarter, everyone knew, wow, the Cowboys suck, and the Lions are really good.
Oh,
when they get that running game going,
they suck Brokeback Mountain style.
Oh
yes.
Big time.
Oh, man, that Lions offense, when they can get that run game going north and south, that play action, lethal. There's not a team in the NFL that'll be able to even come close to slowing that down.
Oh, when David Montgomery broke that first run for a touchdown where he spun around, they had him by the
ran
t-shirt
over a guy,
and they couldn't tackle. They just watched. I was like, oh yeah, we're not winning this game. This ain't gonna end well for us.
Gonna be one of those kind of days.
Man, they really went to the bag at the end of the game, though. That was fun.
That's the part too that just pisses me off too. Is nobody on the Cowboys seemed to care. It's oh, whatever. Back in the day, if that were to happen, Roy Williams would have ran when T.O. went and planted the ball on the star. You do it once, and then there's just no fight on this team. Can you imagine if you would have invested $240 million somewhere else other than your quarterback? It'd basically be the same, but
it would not be the same.
Well, we'd have the same record, probably. Beat the teams we're supposed to. 3-3 right now.
Dak's been ass.
He's not been good, but hey, you know what? He leads the league was leading the league in passing yards, which isn't a good sign if Dak Prescott's leading the league. That usually means that they are. Well, I mean, it's basically been what the Cowboys have been this year. We've been saying on this show for a long time, with Dak, less is more, and they have no running. It could have had Derrick Henry for $8 million, but no, we got Zeke Elliott and Dalvin Cook like what's back in 2017.
Yeah, Dallas.
You're just going to draft Jonty in the first round, and that's going to somehow solve all your issues.
That's right. The run defense can't stop a nosebleed. Mike Zimmer sucks.
There was a reason why
he is terrible.
His defense got worse and worse every single year in Minnesota because he doesn't know how to adjust.
He's too stubborn.
He thinks his system is better than everyone else and his scheme is going to work. It's no, that's not how it works. It's what do they say? They're going to do what they do. And that's the Cowboys' defense. What they do is what they do, and that they don't show anything else.
Let him score touchdowns. It's like the security guard that's checking the guy, and it's
walk through.
Yeah,
like twin security. I don't think they've ever actually tried to look at me.
Not once.
No. Well, there's other reasons why, Ethan, but we won't get into those. But Grant, who is what is your Week 7 team of the week?
So, guys, I'm going to take an interesting spin on this. And my
Oh,
team of the
boy.
week is actually someone who is off the field because they somehow fleeced the franchise into believing in this one player. Yes, my NFL team of the week is the representation team for Deshaun Watson, his agents, because they somehow convinced the Cleveland Browns to give this man $255 million, and he's throwing their leading receiver on their team is a defensive back. And I think in terms of receiving yards, now that Amari Cooper is gone. Let that sink in.
You want to know a wild
leading
stat, Grant?
receiver is a defensive player.
You know that Deshaun Watson has more lawsuits settled than touchdown passes?
I was just going to say that, yeah. I was going to say that. That's just nuts.
He has 26?
24 lawsuits, 19 touchdowns.
He has more lawsuits settled this year alone since the season started than actual wins.
Yes. Like, let's just put it in perspective here. This team, like I said, his agents convinced the Cleveland Browns after he sat out of football for a full calendar year.
Year and a half. It was like a year and a half after he was suspended, too.
A year and a half to give him $250 million guaranteed. This year, he has a salary cap hit of 27. Well, that's not terrible, considering, for your quarterback. It gets worse, boys. Next year, $72.9 million cap hit. The dead cap, if they were to cut him, is $172 million.
Oh.
How? These people should not be representing football players. They should be representing corporate America against the Chinese government, and we'd have all our money back. Like how they absolutely fleeced these people. Next year, in 2026, he has a $72.9 million cap hit, $99.8 million in dead cap. If the Browns want to get out of this, they can wait until the 2027 season. I've never seen a group of agents totally screw over a team more than this group did to the Cleveland Browns. And that is better than anything you're going to see on the football field. So that's why my NFL Week 7 team of the week is the representation group for Deshaun Watson.
For Deshaun Watson. Well, that and the fact that the Browns, that poor Kevin Stefanski, who wants to make a quarterback change, but he can't because they're not going to let him.
He can't. And, Stefanski is a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year in 4 years. And you know what? He's probably going to lose his job because the GM and the owner gave a bunch of money to a quarterback who can't fit his system and is unwilling to change. So, based by the letter of the contract, they have to keep the quarterback when they should be keeping the coach.
Yep. So we'll just keep it here, Grant. Who is your Week 7 disappointing team of the week?
So my Week 7 disappointing team of the week is another unit, and it's the New Orleans Saints defense. Like, have they forced a punt in the last 2 weeks? I don't think. I think the Chiefs punted once.
That's probably a valid question.
Seriously, in the last 2 weeks, I want to have given up almost over 1,000 yards of offense. Like, Tampa Bay scored 51 points this week and had 494 yards of offense. I know the Chiefs went over 400-something the week before. Tampa Bay rushed for 277 yards on Sunday.
Baker threw for 400, didn't he? Or close to it?
Baker threw for almost 400. I think it was like 377.
Yeah. He threw 3 picks. I mean, they turned him over, and that's the only way that was even remotely kept him in the game in the first half.
Somewhat of a game, but and Dennis Allen, you're supposed to be a defensive-minded head coach. And your defense is going out here with efforts like this. And it's not like yes, their defense is a little older, and the salary cap is hurting this team, but it's not like they still don't have good players. You have Marshawn Lattimore. You have Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan.
Dan Sorensen. Or did they get rid of him?
They got rid of him.
Oh, okay. So that's the key is they're missing Dan Sorensen.
They're missing number 4, the bald 49 with the fake eye black.
They need Gleason back, whatever his name is.
Yeah, to Ethan's point, bring Steve Gleason back, block a punt, bring some energy in the building, do something. But
be an athlete.
there's just nothing there. And Dennis Allen, you're this defensive-minded head coach. Well, you're about to lose your job if you keep this up.
I feel like the Saints too. They've been in salary cap hell for the last 10 years.
Yeah, somehow they keep finding a way to be able to feel the roster. It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's just what they are just so inept and so bad on defense. And in years before under Dennis Allen, they were a great defense. There was always that one team in the NFL that nobody wanted to play. But my God, these last 2 weeks, they've just been putrid. So I gotta go with the New Orleans Saints defense.
New Orleans Saints defense. All right, Ethan, who do you got?
I'm also just going not a team, but like an actual I'm going to player. Will Levis. He is just fucking terrible. Like,
oh God,
my God, he's up there. Jamarcus, like he wasn't the number overall pick, so I can't say he's Jamarcus Russell. But what was he, 8th overall?
Well, he fell the second round.
Guy.
He fell the second round.
Was Levis the second round? Okay. Oh, he did fall. That's right. Either way, he's ass. Like he is so bad. Who do they play? The Colts. Everyone lights the Colts up. Like it's literally we could light the Colts up. He made it look like he didn't even know what the hell he was doing. Like he's never played football again. Like 95 yards, I think, on 18 completions. His wide receivers out there just blasting him like after the game. Like I need some more fucking targets. And honestly, the targets he got were pretty shit. Like the majority of them were not catchable. I looked at all of them. I saw a video. They're pretty bad. So like I'd be pissed too. But my God, he is just so bad. It's hard to watch because otherwise they're decent. They have players, skill positions, and they have a good defense. He is quite literally the only thing holding them back.
The Titans chose Will Levis over Mike Vrabel. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
And this is why there's so many bad organizations in the NFL.
Like KOC said, most organizations fail the quarterback before the quarterback fails the organization.
Oh yeah.
But we'll say Will Levis is failing the organization.
Yes, he is at this point.
Yeah, because with his, but again, we brought up to the point. How is a guy who lost his starting job in college to Sean Clifford, a top 35 pick in the NFL draft? Sean Clifford is horrible.
And somehow he's a backup
Penn State
quarterback.
fans were sick of him.
And said Penn State fans were sick of him. And this Will Levis guy, just because he's 6'4", he's super strong, he's got, probably 4% body fat and looks great, has all the physical tools.
It's a Mayo sponsorship.
I mean, Will, do me a favor. Get in the film room and stop making these Mayo commercials. Your run is over. It's not cool anymore. Nobody cares that you eat a banana with the peel still on. Like you're playing like ass. Like dominate on the football field.
That kind of explains why, to be honest.
I mean, it really should. He puts mayo in his coffee, and then he eats the skin out. He eats the banana peel itself. Like,
and he's making commercials.
And he's, yeah,
you got. I feel like you have to at least establish yourself before you're allowed to make any commercials.
Mm-hmm.
But
guys, Julius Randle's pretty freaking good at basketball. Gonna be honest, he's at 16, 6-5 right now.
Dude, it's crazy. No one's saying this right now, but the Wolves are going to win this trade the long haul.
For sure. I'm sold on it. Yeah.
It's not even going to be close. I mean,
we'll talk
granted,
about that.
They couldn't hit a 3 to save their life tonight, but that's not going to be the norm. So I'm not really too concerned about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after towards the end here of the show. My disappointing team is a team that actually won, but their coach is such an insecure little child that it's the Philadelphia Eagles and Nick Sirianni. Like, the guy shows up, he's completely bald, looked like he gained about 50 pounds, was feeling the heat. They beat the worst team in the NFL, and he decides he's going to go talk shit to the people that pay his salary? You're going to go and talk shit to the fans?
Fans don't pay his salary.
They buy tickets to the game. They buy the concessions. That all goes towards paying his salary. So in a roundabout way, yes.
Sure.
They do. But that's what you decide to do. Like, you're going to go yell at the fans that support you every week and show up for you. And you don't think that you've deserved some of the blame that you've gotten, where you'd rather argue and scream at people, I don't want to hear from you Chiefs fans anymore. How'd that work out for you, Nick, the last month or whatever, how many games it is? This team is he's going to be fired before the end of the season. Ethan, what week did you say he was going to?
I thought I said 7, but I can't remember. So it's like this week.
If they lose to the Giants,
it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
It definitely is. So, then.
Hey, Dylan, call me crazy. Question. Do you think NFL teams this year, since there's so many good coaches out there to possibly take over your organization, are coaches going to lose their job because other teams want to go after a guy like Vrabel and Belichick or maybe Pete Carroll, even though they're going to be on the fence of like, we shouldn't do this?
Probably. I mean, it's also getting into like a situation of, would you rather have him coaching your team, or would you rather have to face them twice a year?
Exactly.
like,
Especially with that team down in Dallas or even the New York Giants. I would
love for Bill Belichick to come be the head coach, but it won't happen because then Jerry wouldn't get his credit. He wouldn't get his flowers, so that it won't happen. He will go and coach either the Giants or the Eagles. That's who Bill Belichick is probably going to be coaching next year, because he does have a history with the Giants. The Eagles, it's a pretty good setup for him. Realistically, they just need an adult in the room, and they're going to be 1,000% better.
Dude, I think it's Philadelphia or bust. I mean,
because Bill Belichick ain't going to the Jets. We know that.
Oh no, he ain't going there. And why would anyone want to go to the Jets? You have an aging quarterback and no future on your team.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 pretty good wide receivers.
Congratulations. You have a couple good wide receivers, but you have nobody who can protect your quarterback, and you also aren't going to have a quarterback here soon.
Their left tackle just got abused on, what was that, Monday night? I can't remember.
Monday night, yeah.
Tyron Smith also should retire and go to Canton in 5 years. It's okay.
Yeah, he had a great career.
He had a great career.
But no, I mean, well, yeah, they just fired Saleh, and then they go trade for Devontae Adams, but Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's the worst kept secret.
Buddy, just admit that you said you wanted to be fired.
I saw a TikTok. It was talking about when it was Brett Favre's last year for the Vikings. It was right after they got the crap kicked out of them against the Packers, and Ziggy Wolf calls Brett Favre, "What should I do?" And Brett Favre says, "Fire the son of a bitch." What do you know? 10 minutes later, Brad Childress was fired.
He's gone. He's gone. Get out the door, buddy.
There is a report that he met with Woody Johnson the night before he was fired. So,
yeah, I saw that one too.
Pretty strong possibility that he had a say in it.
Well, dude, just go back to that Thursday night game against the Patriots when Saleh wanted to give him a hug after a touchdown.
Yeah, just pushed him off.
Whoa. Back away, dude. Like, of course Rodgers got him fired. He's the first player coach in NFL history.
Like, the Devontae thing was going to happen regardless, but yeah, he definitely...
Oh, he pushed for it.
Yeah.
So, and it's not going to solve because they can't protect anybody. Yeah, cool. They got another receiver. They've got some good weapons on that Jets team. They have a great running back for when they do use him is pretty damn good. But
I think this will help them a lot. I really do. There's going to be a lot more explosive plays out of this offense.
I don't know.
Good luck going man-to-man against Wilson and Adams. It's not going to work.
If they can't protect him, though, he's going to be a struggle. But the Week 8 is up on deck for college football. I'm up here. And, there's plenty of good games this week. But I got to go with the one that I'm going to be going to. And that's NDSU South Dakota State. It's Dakota marker week here. this is a NDSU is a little bit beat up. Dylan Hendricks, it sounds like he is not going to be available probably for the rest of the year, which they do need some D-line pressure, and he's been their most consistent pass rusher. A guy's got to step up. Cam Miller is still recovering from his ankle injury from the UND game a couple of weeks ago. He, not being able to use his legs, it felt like the offense got a little bit stagnant. The running backs, Marty Brown looks like he's so close to breaking a big one. You're going to need him to do that. Something that NDSU hasn't done in these previous South Dakota State games is they haven't gotten those explosive runs that they needed that the Jacks have been able to produce. And he's got to take care of the football, something that he hasn't done. The turnover margin since in the SDSU matchups, the last 5 times they have played, SDSU has not turned the ball over one time. They got to find a way to turn the ball over. NDSU's got to be able to protect it. Cam Miller has not played his best in these big games. I think playing well against Colorado, playing well against UND, I think that's given him the confidence right now. He is the favorite to be the Walter Payton Award winner. And the big defensively, they got to find a way to get Gronowski to turn the ball over. The offense which he has done early on in the season. He hasn't done in the last couple of games. They've been clicking, but win the turnover battle and win the rushing battle, and whoever does that is going to win this game.
There you go.
Dylan, what's the weather supposed to be like for you Saturday night?
Well, it's in Fargo, so it's in the Dome.
Oh, I thought it was down there. Never mind.
Nope.
I'll be down there next week.
Ethan will be there in 2 weeks, though. Yeah.
Yep.
But
gonna go watch the Yotes versus the Jacks,
which is actually going to set up to be a pretty good game. We're going to find out a lot about South Dakota in that matchup, who I thought they were going to take a step back, but they've been playing really well so far this year. But Ethan, what do you got for your Week 8 game of the week?
I am going to Bloomington, Indiana, and Nebraska, Indiana. This should be Indiana's toughest test yet. Really the only real opponent I guess I would say they played is UCLA out in I think they played out in UCLA actually.
It was, it was in the Rose Bowl.
Was that one a conference game or not? Or was it one of those
pre-scheduled? It was a conference.
Okay, I didn't know if it was one of those pre-scheduled non-conference. Okay. But yeah, they beat the hell out of them. But yeah, UCLA, they've had a tough schedule, but they're not as good as Nebraska. So just being able to see how Indiana stacks up against them before they start hitting some of these heavier hitters that they have coming up. I want to say they have Penn State, and I want an Oregon maybe. I think are the 2 big ones that they have coming up. I can't.
Indiana. They got Ohio State.
Ohio State. Maybe that's instead of Penn State what I'm thinking of. But yeah, they're gonna. This is gonna be the biggest test yet to see. I can't remember their coach's name, but it starts with a C or an S or Signetti. That's
Signetti.
Yeah.
Former JMU coach.
Yep. So really good coach, and we'll see how he does versus Mr. Matt.
Mr. Rule.
Mr. Matthew.
Yeah, they have Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Purdue. That's the rest of the Indiana schedule.
That's reasonable.
It is manageable for sure. If they win this one, and they get Indiana at home,
Indiana at home.
They got to go on they get Washington at home. I mean, if they win that one, there's a very good possibility that they are 9-0 going into their matchup against Ohio State. 10-0, excuse me.
That could be literally it could be Indiana, Oregon in the Big Ten title, and then both those teams will be in the playoff.
That's crazy.
That would be nuts.
That'd be pretty cool.
But hey, that's why we asked for the extended playoff, right?
Right?
That's right.
Anything can happen.
Bloomington gets a home playoff. Indiana gets a home playoff game. Boy, that would be kind of something.
That'd be
Indiana's
so cool.
No longer a basketball school. It's a football school.
They haven't been a basketball school for quite a while.
And I'm so glad you said that, Dylan, because I set that up there for one of you two to lay that in, and you did. Thank you for taking the low-hanging fruit. I tried to lay that trap there, and you took it. So we did it right.
This year they might be pretty solid, but we'll talk about college basketball as it gets closer here. Grant, who do you got? What do you got for your Week 8 game of the week, and why is it Texas Georgia?
Well, Texas Georgia, it's the game of the week because one, I've been to Austin, and two, it's a great city, and three, it's just the best game this weekend. And because right now Texas is here, guys, and everyone else is here. Like Texas looks like an absolute train right now, but now they get to face a bigger test than an opponent in Georgia, who is the one team on their schedule now who can physically match the physicality that Texas is going to bring to the offensive line, at least with what Georgia has on defense. But I'm intrigued because now this will be Georgia's third big road game of the year, in prime time at night. Of course, the loss to Alabama, struggle against Kentucky. What's Georgia going to be like, on the road in DKR? This is going to be the biggest game DKR has seen, well, I guess since Alabama was there 2 years ago and LSU in 2019. But this is going to be just a different animal. Like Texas right now looks like the best team in America. And they've had, if you ask me, a couple of wins this year. But this one would take it to a whole nother level if they can beat Georgia and dominate the way they've been dominating teams up front. And then Sark can truly say on the recruiting trail into his players, hey, guys, we have established the culture that we want here. What I learned at Alabama under Nick Saban, what I learned at USC under Pete Carroll, we have that. This is established here right now. If we can go out and we can beat the team that most of us thought was the best team in America coming into the year. And now this is also a good opportunity for Georgia and Carson Beck to bounce back. The first half against Alabama was horrid. Crazy comeback. You get a lead with 2 minutes left. You almost come back and get the win. This is a refresh button for Georgia. It's like, okay, you know what? Hey, that Alabama game, maybe we learn from our mistakes. Going into a big game, this is how we prepared for this one. We're going to prepare a little differently for this. And if Georgia loses this game, that's 2 losses. There's a real possibility they might not make the playoff. Still got to play Tennessee, still got to play Ole Miss. I understand Ole Miss has 2 losses now, but Georgia loses this game, maybe this Georgia team doesn't have the confidence that it had in the years past. And these players aren't the teams that won a national title. They just happen to go to the University of Georgia. So implications all over the place, and I'm excited for this game. So give me Georgia, Texas as the game of the week.
Well, I feel like almost every SEC team outside of Texas is like teetering on the edge of not being able to make the playoff.
And Ethan, I'm with you 100% of the way. Because they're all going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
Well, even like Tennessee, they've regressed. Like Nico, I mean, teams have seemed to figure him out. He hasn't been what he was to start the year. Alabama the last couple of weeks has not been good. And even Georgia hasn't looked that great. I mean, they were 30-point favorites against Mississippi State, and that was a game in the fourth quarter. The offensive line for Georgia has not been what it's been. They haven't ran the ball the way they did the last couple of years. And they're going to have to really try to take the crowd out of DKR, because I think you're going to see a different level of crowd noise at DKR the way this Texas team is. And, the defensive line has got to find a way to get after Quinn Ewers, because against the offensive line of Texas that has put 5 NFL guys for sure in there, and probably the Joe Moore award-winning front runner right now.
Oh, without question. And two tackles who have started every game the last 2.5 years.
Yep. And it was a couple of years ago where people were asking, is Sark the guy? Is Sark the guy? Well, the development that they've been able to do, that program's been able to do, and develop the offensive line and the defensive line, that's been the difference so far. They're playing a lot like what Michigan was last year, where they're just going to suck the life out of you.
And also credit to his coaching staff. Dylan, when we had Tyler on, we were like, they lost their 2 running backs to start the year. They're going to be screwed. Well, wrong.
Wrong.
How great has Tashard Choice been this year? He should be the assistant coach of the year, if you ask me. Screw defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. Look what he's done in that running backs room. It's truly incredible to lose your top 2 guys, and to just plug and play everyone else you have after that. It's an incredible job of recruiting, but also developing that position room. So shout out to
Choice, like the former Cowboys running back.
I believe
Choice?
So. Yes,
from Georgia Tech. No kidding.
Yeah,
did not know he was coaching.
Mm-hmm. At least I know when Sark got the job, Tashard was hired as his running backs coach, and I'm pretty confident he's still the guy.
What in the world? What a guy! Interesting. Let's see here. This is great radio, but he is the running backs coach here for Texas. Fun fact: he actually started his college career at Oklahoma.
Well, there we go.
There you go. But Grant, let's go up to week 7 in the NFL. What is your game of the week?
Whew, a lot of good options here, guys. But I'm gonna go with the Texans and Packers. Actually, Sunday at noon. Haha, gotcha. This Texans team, they're looking hot. They're playing well, minus the shellacking the Vikings gave them earlier this year. And these last couple weeks, Green Bay's offense and their team has looked a little more comfortable. Jordan Love coming back, from the MCL sprain, and this is low key. This is low key a huge game, because if the Texans can go out and they can get a win on the road in Lambeau, CJ Stroud and company can sit back and say, hey, look at us. Like, we're here to mess around. And then if Green Bay, in return, if they lose, it's just another big game where Green Bay kind of fell apart. And, maybe, they paid too much for Jordan Love. He came back too much from injury. When they've been in big games this year, they've lost them both so far. Big early season implications for both these teams. And also the fact that Green Bay is going with the all-white uniforms with the white helmets.
Those are going to be so nice.
How great are those going to be? And anytime you have a good uniform game, I'm giving you extra points. So give me Texans-Packers as the NFL game of the week.
All right. Ethan, what do you got?
I'm going with the game that if anyone ever takes the under on this, they need to never bet again. The Ravens and Bucks. There might not be a whole lot of defense. There's going to be a crap ton of massive plays, whether it's Godwin, Henry, Flower. All of them are just going to go freaking nuts. The Ravens can't stop the pass. The Bucks struggle sometimes, but I think that's also because they weren't healthy for the longest time. So I actually would give the Bucks the advantage defensively right there. But going to be a really, really good game. Honestly, 2 of the best, probably 3 quarterbacks to start the year.
And it's on Monday night.
Yeah.
And it is. My week 7 game of the week is going to be battle for NFC North supremacy. Vikings-Lions, battle for first place in the North. Flores just had, the matchup, you're going to be paying attention to is Brian Flores versus Ben Johnson. Who's the chess match between those two? Flores has had success going up against Goff. When you go back and look at the Super Bowl, holding them to 3 points. The big thing is for the Vikings is to force this into a drop back pass game. Try to get out to a hot start where the threat of the Lions running the football is almost non-existent, which is going to be a tough way they run the ball. But Vikings coming off a bye, that gives them also an advantage too. And if they're able to win, that puts them up 2 games in the NFC North, because that would put the Lions at 5-4-2. Would they be 4-2? Yeah, because they already had their bye week.
They had their bye already. Yep.
So,
only way the Vikings win this game is if they stop the run. If they don't stop the run, it's done. That play action is going to eat them alive.
Call me crazy, guys. Stopping the run, that's still not even enough. I think they probably need to force 2 to 3 turnovers again.
No, for sure. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's the key, so you can actually get into those situations where you can use Goff. Sorry, but no, Goff will pick you apart if they get the run game going. It'll be just disgusting.
Well, yeah, you think
it'll look like it did on Sunday.
On Sunday, if it's a lot
Goff
of second
the past
and
2
fives,
weeks has probably been the best quarterback in literally the NFL.
If it's a lot of second and fives and second and fours, this game's going to be over fast.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep. But I think then that would wrap everything up here. So last week it was announced that the Pohlads are looking to sell the team. Ethan, you're our resident Twins czar here on the show. What are your thoughts? What was your level of excitement when you found out that it was possible that they're going to be looking to sell the team?
Probably a top 5 Minnesota sports moment, to be completely honest. Been cheap as dirt since I was a kid. That wasn't going to change going forward. They can blame the TV contract all they want. They didn't lose nearly as much on that contract as they made it out to be. So even when Royce Lewis is calling you out, saying, "Oh, I'll be back. I'm one of the cheap guys," there's something wrong with that. But it's good for the state as a whole. Finally get some owners in here that actually want to put money in, like the Wolves, like the Vikings. We've never had that for the Twins, so we already have a good fan base. This is just the start. We could legitimately be something super, super special.
And they have a good young nucleus of players. But it's one of those situations, you hear about a lot of teams, there are teams that want to win championships and there are teams that want to make a profit. The Pohlads have seemed like a team for, since we've been born. They are content that, well, we're putting people in the stands. We've got a good enough product. Who cares if we lose in the postseason? We made our money. It would be nice to see some aggression and, like last year where they had chances to go out and get some pitching and it never got addressed because they just refused to open up their checkbook.
And no one's asking to go spend $400 million or whatever it is, like the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees. That's not going to happen. But 180, 200 million. We made it. We were damn near the best team in the league when we had 160 million. There's just no point to cut it down. And if they were going to keep it at the 130 million like they did this year, we literally had nowhere to add. We would have had to cut people. It is legitimately what they would have had to do.
But I go back to 2009, when Cliff Lee was on the trade block, and the Twins had a chance to trade for him. And I remember watching Baseball Tonight back when that used to be a show, and saying that the Twins were the front runner to get him. And I was all excited. I was like, "That's going to be the guy." They had Carl Pavano was having a career year. I can't remember who else they had that were.
The one year he ever had.
Yep.
Jeez.
And
flashback.
And they
I want to say that was Josh Willingham too at that time.
No, that would have been a little bit after. 2009, that was the first year at Target Field, yeah. That was when they had Orlando Hudson and Tomey.
I remember, Tomey for sure. Tomey was there a couple years.
Was it 09 or was 010 the inaugural season?
It was 2010. It was 2010.
10, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Tomey hit his walk-off.
Division.
Yeah.
Tomey hit his walk-off in 2010. Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
God, he was a behemoth of a man.
Big Ethan, dude.
You saw the home run against the White Sox, right?
I was at the game where he hit the top of the flagpole in right field. That sucker was going to easily clear the right field fence outside.
Would it bounce off the Target Center?
Oh, dude, it was probably where the gates are now. That sucker was going to land there. Because they pushed the gates out. It was absolute freaking nuke. If they had exit velocity there, that thing might have been pushing 130.
Oh, man.
Oh. Yeah, he was a stud.
Yeah.
But
he's actually played mostly against us for his whole career.
Right?
Damn you and your 1-0 win versus Nick Blackburn.
Yep.
That's such
he hit the one homer.
His that one home run.
Yep.
That's the 08 Wild
that was like 07 or 08, yeah.
Oh, and Kiki Hernandez, is he going to hit one out? Yep, that's gone. Dodgers are up 4-0 now.
Lynx blew it. They're up 15 in the first quarter. They're down 2 with 33 seconds to go.
Oh, no.
Just a classic Minnesota team.
Well, then, Grant, we better get to curveball of the week here so you can go watch the end of that. I know you being the WNBA stan that you are. But before, you still owe 3 compliments to the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, shoot. I was not ready for that. I forgot about this, Arizona. Well, 2, I love the fact how they actually grow their grass outside and they wheel it in and out.
You've already said that. You got to pick a new one.
Oh, Dylan, I'm not going to lie. I have no more good things to say about Arizona. When you said it was 3 things, I thought it was a one-time shot. I don't have 3 things.
Oh, this was a weekly thing in that I guess so. Well, next we got to start. We'll start over next week where you got to say something nice weekly about the Cardinals. You got to pay attention to their games. There's got to be something that you could compliment them on.
When you score 13 points to give up 34 and Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't play, there's not much I can do for you.
It's also fair.
But all right then, fine. What do you got for curveball of the week?
I was thinking, I was like, we all love food, guys. But so the question is when you go to when you're going to a restaurant that it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, of all the restaurant choices out there, of those buffets, which one are you going to and why?
Oh, Chinese buffet for sure.
Yeah, Chinese buffet. Yep.
Easy.
The snow shrimp, General Tso's chicken.
You can even get some pizza half the time. Like it's just a smorgasbord.
Crab legs.
And then you get ice cream at the end. Like, who the hell wouldn't?
What else do you get? Beef and broccoli.
The one bad thing about the Chinese buffet is it's great, but then 2 hours later, I'm like, I could eat again.
You like the King House in Fargo. Like after you
Thank you, Dylan. I was going to ask you.
Rip roaring the night on the town. There was nothing better. You get that in your stomach, you are good to go.
I'll say this: the bar,
they're having pigeons.
The buffets in Vegas are really good too.
The Vegas buffets, the prime rib buffets. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong there either. You know, I'm probably the least picky eater ever. So like, if you put food in front of me, I'm gonna eat it. So you know, if I hear buffet, I'm gonna come running.
Mm-hmm. There's this. What Ethan was it? The Iowa Wind and River, or this place in Iowa City, or maybe it was Coral.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Down by the river.
Yeah, down by the river.
The old mill.
Yes, by the old mill. When Miranda graduated.
I never went there, but I heard it was great.
They had a prime rib buffet. Oh my God, that food was fantastic.
There's one down in Deadwood that's fantastic too.
And I that night I probably went back for 3 different things, three pieces of prime rib, 4 slabs of mashed potatoes, a whole bunch of everything. I remember sitting and laying in the hotel room that night, not feeling well, and I'm just like, I'm hot.
Meat sweats.
I'm uncomfortable.
That was your first case of the meat sweats, Grant.
Meat sweats. I was just like, you know what? I know what's going to make me feel better right now. I have to go to the bathroom and I have to throw up. I have to get this food out of me.
Which, Grant, does remind me.
So we have said how many times, Grant, we're going to Golden Corral. We have yet to do it.
Yes, no shit. We got to.
You guys still have those in Minnesota?
Maple Grove, there's one.
There's one in Maple Grove, dude.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Pretty lucky.
They all close.
There's another one too. There's another one in the cities. I think. Is it Apple Valley? Maybe. There's 2.
Also, Ethan, in Golden Valley, right off 394, is the Super Moon Chinese buffet. Oh God, I haven't been there in like 6-7 years, but God, it's good.
That just sounds like E. coli or something.
Well, you walk in and you just see their water fountains are 2 dragons, and water is coming out of the dragons, and you're like, okay, yep, these people are from China.
That's authentic.
They're gonna fix me a good meal. It was.
Love it.
It was delicious. The Super Moon buffet right off Highway 394.
Okay.
All right.
The
Lynx tied it up. 16 seconds to go.
Your stream is so much faster than me. Like Dylan earlier in the show when you were talking about baseball, when that Dodgers player hit a single to right field. I hadn't seen that pitch yet, and then I switched to the Lynx game, and Ethan's like, "Oh, they tied it up." and Collier hadn't even shot her second free throw yet. So you guys are just spoiling everything for me.
And then the Wolves have come from 18 down to take a 3-point lead with 3 minutes left. Like, my God, what is happening right now?
Oh, nothing like a preseason comeback.
It was actually the bench that came back. So Josh Minot is gonna be a dude. He's really freaking good.
Why not Minot?
Yeah, he doesn't spell it like you guys though. So sorry, bud.
Oh,
can't claim him.
How does he spell it?
He has 2 N's.
Oh, he's got 2 N's.
So he's like Minot. Minot.
Minot. Is he French?
I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I doubt it. He's African American.
Those Frenchmen.
Well,
I mean, it's possible, but it's less likely.
Okay. He wouldn't be. If he was, he wouldn't be the only black Frenchman on the team.
No, he wouldn't.
So
I mean, have you seen France's World Cup soccer team?
Somehow, yeah. It makes you wonder.
You know what the crazy part about it too is, Grant, is I'm watching it on my iPad here, so it's not. I'm not even on cable, so I'm still my internet still must be faster than you, and we only got it last week.
Yeah, I don't know. The internet down here, the wireless connection is sometimes just kind of shit. Like every once in a while, if I'm trying to watch a game, YouTube TV will just kind of pause out on me, and I have to like refresh the TV. It's kind of frustrating.
Well, Grant, do you live downstairs?
Oh, that is disgusting.
I am downstairs, yes. Oh my God.
Good Lord, what is that?
She hit that shit from 30 feet away.
My God.
The Lynx lose, or are they just down?
There's 1 second left, but this chick just hit I don't know how many Hail Marys she said before the game, but it's got to be at least a dozen.
I mean, she went fucking Clayton Clark right there.
Yeah, that was...
Sabrina went deep.
Oh.
Get it off, you idiot.
No. Nope. All right, well,
that's the show.
All right, well, from what Ethan said.
The Lynx lost. That wraps up the show here. So we'll be back next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll still figure that out. We'll probably just if we're betting, we'll probably just say Wednesday because that just seems to be the day that works for everybody. Check us out on all of our socials. 3GTB Podcast, 3 Guys Talking Ball Podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe there, and we will talk to you next week.